The fuel market, a powerful force, drives economies and shapes geopolitics worldwide. This colossal market, a vibrant dance of supply and demand, is instrumental in steering the course of nations. From the skyscrapers of New York to the bustling bazaars of Marrakesh, the ripples of the fuel market are felt far and wide. The main players in this intricate ballet are the energy-rich Arab countries, holding the reins of power with their vast reserves of black gold. However, the dynamics of this market are not static. They evolve, they shift, reflecting the changing tides of global consumption. As nations rise, so does their need for fuel, the lifeblood of modern economies. And one such nation has been making waves in this global arena, a nation whose thirst for energy is growing as rapidly as its economy and whose influence is beginning to alter the balance of power. In this global play, an unexpected player has been steadily rising: India. India's entrance into the fuel market stage is not a matter of chance. It's a story of strategic moves and relentless pursuit. The nation's rise in the global fuel market can be pinned down to a triad of factors. Firstly, India's growing demand for fuel, driven by its rapidly expanding economy and burgeoning middle class. Secondly, India is making significant investments in its own oil and gas production, aiming to reduce its dependence on foreign imports. Lastly, India is making concerted efforts to diversify its fuel sources. This strategic shift is opening up new avenues for international cooperation and competition. India's ascent is not just reshaping the country's energy landscape, but also the global fuel market. In response to India's ascent, traditional powerhouses such as Arab countries have increased production and invested in new technologies. The global fuel market is a chessboard, and India is making its moves, one square at a time. India's rise in the global fuel market sets off ripples that reach far and wide. This ascendancy is not without its implications. Economically, it's a game changer. With India challenging the traditionally dominant Arab nations, we're likely to see a roller coaster ride in fuel prices. The global economy, already hanging on to every shift in the fuel market, will need to brace for these fluctuations. But the implications aren't confined to the economy alone. The environment is also in the loop. India's burgeoning demand for fuel means more consumption of fossil fuels, the primary culprits behind climate change. The increased carbon footprint is a red flag for our planet's health. However, it's not all doom and gloom. India, conscious of these environmental implications, is making strides towards renewable energy sources. A silver lining, perhaps, in an otherwise stormy scenario. But India is not turning a blind eye to the environmental implications. While fossil fuel demand increases, India is also looking towards the skies and the winds. Not one to put all its eggs in one basket, India is diversifying its energy portfolio, investing heavily in renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. A counterbalance to its escalating fossil fuel consumption, these investments symbolize India's commitment not only to fueling its own growth, but to doing so sustainably. Solar panels glint under the Indian sun, wind turbines turn lazily in the breeze. This is not just the landscape of the future, it's the landscape of today. India's investments in these clean energy sources are already yielding returns, reducing its reliance on fossil fuels and contributing to a more sustainable future. But this push for renewables isn't just good for India, it's a seismic shift that will reverberate worldwide. As India continues to challenge traditional powerhouses in the fuel market, the world watches, alert and astonished. The ripple effects on prices, geopolitics, and the environment are not just being noticed, they are being felt. India's audacious stride towards renewable energy is not just an investment, it's a bold statement to the world. It's a message of hope, of change, and of a potential new world order in energy. A world where sustainability is not an afterthought but the driving force. This is no longer about India's future alone. This is about our collective future, a shared destiny. India's renewable revolution is not just changing the landscape of a nation, it's redefining the future of our world.